Hello everyone, welcome to the Go Code Snippets channel. So this is the part 2 of the video on text and HTML templating using Go. So we'll continue from where we stopped in the last video. So for this video, we'll be talking about passing data into templates, and to do that, we'll be using the third parameter in the execute templates method. So this third parameter, whereas we put new for now, this is where the data that we'll be passing to the templates will be. So for that, let's say our data that we're passing is an integer type of, let's say, 5. So I'll just simply pass data into this place, and to call it inside the template, I can just simply say, so I'll create a ptag. So the half of 10 is, then to put it into the template, I'll do 2 pairs of curly braces, then a dot. So that is how it works. So if I run the code, so I have the half of 10 is 5. So if you are to recall that in the last video, we did something about embedding templates. So we're embedding the data in this place into temp.html. So what if we want to pass data into this particular embedded template, or this one? How do you go about it? So it is very simple. So then the data we are passing is the title of, let's say, the page now. So we can say title. So let the title of the page be Go Text Templating. So we'll pass title into it as usual as our third parameter. So to pass it to this template, so I'll just take this out. I'll take this whole ptag out. I don't need this guy. Take this out. So I can just simply pass it to this place, because I'm passing it into our header template. Remember, this is the header template. So I'll just put a dot here. So that's where I pass it to the header template. Then here I'll call it with a double curly braces and dot. So if we run our code, so I have it here, Go Text Templating, which is the data we passed in from this place. Oh, I'm saying something now. So that is it. So I'll just change this back. So now the next thing we'll be talking about is passing string arrays, slices, and map types into templates. So if I have a slice of string, so let's say that slice of string are the states in Nigeria. So I can just say states should be a slice of string Lagos, Abuja, I'm making a mistake, Abuja, then let's say Oyo State, and let's say Imo State, and Cross River State. So if I pass it directly into the template, let's see what we have. So I'll just simply say, let me just put a div, and here I can say H2 or H3 states in Nigeria, and I can just do a P, and I'll put it in here. So let's call it and see what we get. So if I run the code, so we get the information, all the states rendered together on a line as a slice of string. So what if we actually want it to be rendered as a list, because that's like a more realistic approach. If we want to have it rendered as a list, like each of them together on one line, instead of having to render them together on one line, how do you go about that? So to do that, there's a range keyword in the package text templates that is used on. So one thing you should take notice is that the range keyword is used on only arrays, slices, or map types. So to use the range keyword, just do a range dot, and we'll end it here. So what I'm doing is I'm just ranging on the data. So I'm ranging on the data. Then for each data, we'll just create a p tag. Then we'll put the data inside the p tag. So I think maybe we should use an li tag, because an li tag seems more realistic. List. instead of a ptag. So run the code. So there we have it. We have all the information running as a list. So we have Lagos, Abuja, Oyo, Imo, and Cross River. So one thing you should always take note of is that most of these keywords in the text template package usually end with an end block. So there's also one thing you can also do. You can also actually assign the data to a variable. So we can say range $v. So I'm just saying $v for value equals to dot. So instead of calling dot, you can just call it as a variable name, with a variable name rather, and the variable name is $v. So if you do this and we run the code, so we still get the same output. So we can also do index and value ranging also, just like if we have in our Go code for I, v equals to, for I, v equals to range state, something like this in our Go. So you can also do something like that in the template, and we'll also still use the range keyword, but instead of having those $v, so we'll be having a $i, comma, shouldn't be here, sorry. So we're having a $i and a $v to be equal to this. So we can just say, so we can just call it here $i, and we can do 3 dashes with a space. So if you call it, so we have $i for Lagos will be 0 because the index of Lagos is 0, then Abuja 1, Oyo 2, Imo 3, Cross River 4. So that is how you use the range keyword, and it works for slices, arrays, and maps. So if it were to be a map that we are passing into the template, so this $i will be the key value, because maps are key value pairs. So in Go, maps are key value pairs. What I'm saying is, let's say that we have like elements should be equals to a map of, let's say, string to string. So what I just want to do is that I'll be creating a map of elements. So the key will be the name of the element, and the value will be its, or let's say the key will be the symbol and the value will be the name. So hydrogen, the symbol of hydrogen is H. So we're having hydrogen, comma. Then the second one is helium, and then lithium is Li, lithium, and beryllium is Be, beryllium. So if we pass elements into, this place, so I'll just comment this state house because Go does not allow unused variables. So oh, sorry, I didn't put the trillion comma. So this is what we have. So we have the keys as the $i, which is the index. So I think a more realistic way to do it is just to use $k for key instead of $i. So we're having $k here. So we're having $key, $value should be equals to dot. So if we run it, so we are still having the same thing. So that is how the range keyword works. So there are also other keywords that can be used on slices, arrays, and maps. So there are other keywords that can be used. So if you check the documentation for the text template package in the standard library, you see other keywords. There's a slice keyword that can be used to slice over to slice over a particular array, like to get specific values. Like when you have like r should be equals to a slice of int, let's say 1 2 3 4 5, and you want to slice, so you want to slice out of it, let's say you want to slice out from 2 to 4, so you can do r slice should be equals to r from, so this is 0 1, so from 1 to 1 2 3 4 to 4. So something like this can also be done with the slice keyword in templates. So if you read documentation for the text templates, is there. Then there's also a greater than, a less than, that can be used for equality and all in the documentation for package text templates from the standard library. So I'll employ you to go through it at your own time to figure out things and see how it works. So it is quite easy. So the next thing we'll be passing in now is struct type. So I'll define a user struct. So type let's say footballer struct. So this one has a surname, a first name, and let's say a club, and they are all string types. So I can just define a footballer type. So I can say player should be equals to footballer, then the first name should be, the surname should be Lionel, the second name is Messi, and then the club is PSG, that's Paris Saint-Germain. So I'll just pass in player into it. So one thing you should notice about structs is that for struct to be exported into the template, you have to make sure that the first letter of each field is in uppercase, or else it won't be exported. So to pass it to the template, we'll just simply do So to pass it, we just simply do a p or a div. So we can say first name or surname, so we'll do dot, then the name of the field, s name, so it will be dot s name for the surname, then the first name will be dot f name, then the club will be dot club. So take note that all the field, the first letter of each field is in uppercase, or else it won't work. So if you run the code, that's what we get. So this one should actually be player. Maybe run it. I stopped this prematurely. There is a mistake. Something is not wrong. Oh, it's supposed to be s name, not s name. I was thinking something is wrong. S name. So that is it. We have everything. So everything is working fine. Yeah. So the next thing, the last thing we're talking about today is passing functions into templates. And to pass function into templates, you use a type func mark from package text templates. So to use a func map, we'll define our func map via fm will be equals to type func map from package templates. Func map, and a func map is actually a map of string to empty interface. So that means map of string to any type. So we'll be saying to lower. So I want to convert text to lowercase, then I'll do strings to lower. So I'm just importing I'm just using the to lower function from package string. And what the lower function does is just takes in a, so what the lower function does is to have to import strings. So I have to import package strings. So what the lower function for package string does is takes in a string, then converts all your package to lowercase. That's what it does. So let's define, so instead of a footballer, I'll just go back to my states. Let me do my states back. States. I didn't know I deleted that time. I commented it out, but I deleted the slice of strings. So I will say Lagos. Let me just use 3. Lagos, Abuja, and Imo State. So I'm passing in states into the templates. So to use this function, I have to modify these templates because we have to find the way of passing this particular strings to lower function. So to do that, we'll be using, so we'll just modify this to be templates.new. So what template.new does is simply takes in the name of the new template you want to define and returns a pointer to a template and an error. And so if you do go doc template new, so template new takes in, just creates a new template with this particular name, but because we are passing templates from a particular directory, we'll just leave the name as an empty field or as an empty string. So it returns a pointer to a template, and with a pointer to a template, if you do go doc template funcs, so funcs is actually a method defined on a pointer to a template. So template new itself gives a pointer to a template, then on a pointer to a template you can call this method funcs. So we'll just call dot funcs, and funcs takes in a func map of type func map, which is what we defined there, fm of type func map from passive template. So we'll just put in our fm, then this returns a pointer to a template still, and with a pointer to a template we can also still pass our pass block. So I just modifying this whole thing to look like this. So that's all you just need to do. So then we'll wrap everything inside template mode. That one does not change. So to now call this particular function into this place, so I'll just simply range over it just like we did before. So I'll be having a range, and let me range inside this place. So let me range in here, range dot, then I have to end it. So I'll do li, so I'll put in the dot here. So if I put in the dot here, I'll just be having everything, all the information in the slice rendered as a list. But because I also want them to be lowercase, so I've already created a function that converts strings to lowercase. So I'll just put in, to call it, I'll just simply put in CL here in the front, because CL was the signature I gave to this strings dot lower function that converts the uppercase character in a string to lowercase. So if I run it, you notice that the L in the Lagos becomes lowercase, then the A becomes lowercase, then the I becomes lowercase. So we run main.score. So here we have it, our L is in lowercase, our A is in lowercase, our I is in lowercase. So if we turn it to string dot to upper, for example, so to upper turns all the lowercase to uppercase. So I mean, if you change this one to C, you not TL anymore. But so it changes all the lowercase to uppercase. So you can also define your own functions also. So let me just write a simple function. So I'll just write a function, remove numbers, takes in a string, and return a string. This one takes in. So what this function is simply just doing is just takes in a string, then converts it to a rune, then create a new rune slice to store the strings. So what this new rune slice will just store are just the strings in this string, or the particular letters in this string that are not numbers. So what I'm just ranging over it. When I range over it, so Unicode dot is number returns a bool if a particular character in a string is actually a number. So that's what this does. Is unused. Okay, I haven't used it. So that's what this remove numbers does basically. So I'll just come up here and use it. So to use these remove numbers in my template, so I'll just come back to my funk map and I'll also give it its own signature. And give it a signature RN to remove numbers. And I'll just, so that's all I need to do. So to use it, I can just add numbers to this. I can add 1, 2 to this, and I can add 3, then 5, and then 10, 108 somewhere. So I can just simply call it in the template. So I'll just call the signature in the template RN remove number. So if you run it, you should see all the numbers in each of them removed. So I'm just simply having Lagos, Abuja, and Imo without the numbers in between them. So that is how you pass in functions into templates. Yeah. So I guess that is all we'll be dealing with for this video, and with that we come to the end of Go text templating. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and also share it. And once more, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Very important. I mean, that's the lesson I'm asking from you guys, and I really appreciate it if you subscribe. So that will be all for this video. See you next time in another video.